Swift optionals. Optionals are a powerful feature in Swift language which helps you with non-existing values, meaning nil values. Optional is just like any other type in Swift language. Think about string and string question mark, also called as optional string, which are two different types. If your variable is of the type string, you know it will always have a string in it. And if your variable is of this type string question mark or optional string, it will either have a string value or it will have no value at all. In other words, it will be nil. Think of optional as a box of cookies. This box of cookies might have cookies in it or maybe not. That's why the question mark at the end. I know it's a terrible thing to have no cookies, but example, it happens. Under the hood, optional types are just enums with two cases. None, meaning no value is set, and some, meaning the value is set and its value associated with it. Let's look at some optional examples. I've already created a project, a playground. Can't call it a project. Swift optionals. So I'm going to go here and create a variable number of cookies. Now if I set something like this, you're used to it, you can give a value 20, but if you want to make it optional, you can do something like this, and it's optional, and you'll see that the value is nil to it. If I remove the question mark, it's still, if you see, it's nil, but this will help you in future kind of to set the values or tell you what it does. So I'll kind of go over it. So I'm going to give a value of 20. I'm going to create one more. I'm going to call it name of cookie. Inside this, I'm going to make it of the type string question mark. So this is how you create optionals. Now let's print something so I can show you how optionals are helpful. We have number of cookies of type, and I'm gonna say name of cookie. So now when you print it out, you'll say we have optional 20 cookies of type nil. Since this value is nil, it's showing you nil over there. If I remove this, if you don't set it as, it will give you an error. So you get a runtime error, right, or compile time error right over here saying that, oh, you're trying to display something which is nil. Are you sure? Because it needs to have a value. So by creating it optional, you can actually have it as a nil and still have that variable available. But the problem here that you see is the optional 20. So what's happening here is it's printing optional 20 because it's a variable inside a wrapper, just so that the application doesn't crash. We will learn in the next video of how to unwrap these wrappers. I hope you will see the importance of these optional types. So what happens is, the reason it's optional 20 is because it's actually a box of cookies, or let's say this is a cookie which is wrapped inside a particular optional. So it's a box. So we'll see how to open the box and get the value out of it, open this box and get the value out of it in the next chapter. So that's about optionals.